Hey, hi everybody. Russell Moore with Dedicated to Financial Literacy. Um, Good evening. It's Sunday night. I thought I'd jump on. A lot of things going on. The Fed just made some kind of update. I'm not going to go into that. I'll probably talk about it tomorrow. But I did want to mention something tonight. And again, if you, hey, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, the notify bell if you want more content in the future. I thought I'd throw that part in there. Again, if I didn't say this, dedicated to financial literacy, it's the channel Russell Moore. All right. There's a guy, an investor. His name is Mark Cohodes. Cohodes. Cohodes, I believe. Um, he's a short seller. So pretty much, if if people were expecting the market to go up and up, he's going against that. I'm going to put it just like that. I'm not going to explain short selling and all that because that's not the point tonight. I have some videos in the past if you want to know about what's short selling. Look at some of my other previous videos. But he's a famous short seller, very successful. Everybody uh, in the investment sector knows of Mark Cohodes. He ticks a lot of people off too. Um, Kind of has a conservative uh, um, viewpoint on a lot of many things. The thing about him is he says he's not afraid to speak truth, and but he is a short seller, and I'm not saying but like short sellers are horrible, but they've got a bad rap in the industry. But something interesting, I was watching an interview with him and Danielle. Um, uh, anyway, Daniel Carter. I can't remember which interview I saw him in, but been in a few interviews. But he right now he looks like a hero because he is the one that called FTX, Silvergate, and Signature Bank, Silvergate Bank and Signature, which are two of the banks that just like SVB just got turned up, right? The FDC took over, but he exposed them last year, which is scary because that means the FDIC knew about Silvergate. They knew about Signature Bank and they knew about SVB. I don't know if he exposed SVB, but he definitely did Silvergate, and he exposed uh, Silvergate and Signature Bank all the way back in 2022. So the FDC knew about them. And the corruption is very deep, you guys. I would encourage you to kind of look it up. I am not going to go into all that tonight. But I'm talking about offshore corruption where money has been transferred to China. And some people are saying, oh, China's behind this. I'm not going to go that far because they've had money transactions, um, corrupt money transactions throughout the entire world in various places, in various countries. So it's not just China. I'm talking about Signature Bank and Silvergate. And Silvergate, I believe, is out of San Diego, La Jolla, California. And a lot of them their basis is in crypto. And so here's what I would say during this time, you guys. If you're in the stock market, I'm not saying get out of the stock market. Now, treasury bonds, I'm going to go ahead and put a plug in them because a lot of people have been going over to them, and I've had them in the past. Have an account with uh, Treasury Direct. I think it's treasurydirect.gov for treasury bonds. And so some people are playing it safe, taking their money out of the stock market and getting bonds because they're around 4 or 5%. I don't know how long that's going to last. Bonds are a good thing right now. Okay. Again, I'm not a broker. I'm not a financial hedge fund guy or nothing. So I'm not giving you advice. I'm letting you know what people are doing right now. You need to, what do I always say? If you don't learn, you don't earn. So I need you to go and do your own research. But I want to endorse that guy, Mark Cohodes. Look him up. He's a short seller. Just all you got to do is short seller, Cohodes. and he exposed a lot of this stuff months and months ago, and he's made, because he was a short seller, he shorted Signature Bank, he shorted Silvergate, and has made a ton of money to the point where he said, this is what he said in an interview recently. Because of the, he said, it's great if you expose one corrupt bank or institution in a career. He's exposed three: FTX, Sam Freed. He exposed him. Yeah, I don't know if people know. Yeah, he exposed him, and now Silvergate and Signature Bank. So he says it's great if you do one. If you expose one in a whole career, he's exposed three in a matter of 6 to 8 months. And as a result, he shorted all of them. And he said, here's what he said: I don't need any more money. I mean, you guys. He said, I do not need any more money. And he gave some tips on what to short, some other stocks to short. So he's taking a break, and then he's going to go into going after his next corrupt. But everybody on the internet and Twitter are checking him out, because now they're like, wow, this guy called it. He was saying it. And our government, hello, Biden, our administration, Janet Yellen, Powell, they were not listening. They did not listen to this guy. Bloomberg didn't want to even print his story. He brought the story to Bloomberg, and they didn't even want to print. They didn't even want to bring it out about Sam, about Signature Bank, about Silvergate. This guy had all of this information months and months ago, but because of what he's done, he saved people. He has saved a lot of money. People are harrowing him as a hero right now. So that's why I wanted to bring him up, and then bring him up. So again, going back to stocks. Right now, if you're going to be in the stock market, you want good, solid companies that are strong companies with a wonderful low EPS. They're cash. They have a lot of cash. Low debt or no debt. Great leadership team. They're making a profit. Their margins are great. These are the type of companies you want. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about the stock price. Stock prices are subject to change, because the stock market will change on sentiment easily. As soon as you hear of bad news or a bad report, an earnings report, people want to, they get out, they sell it. Not keeping an eye on the true fundamentals of that company. You want to know what is that company really doing, and if they're going to profit, and if they have a moat, if they have a way, they've got a market cap where they've got a portion of the market that nobody else has, like Tesla. I'm sorry, the other automakers are not able to compete with them. We're going EV, you guys. We're going electric. I'm not saying the other companies won't catch up and they won't get some market share. Yes, they'll get market share, but not like Tesla. I'm sorry. In the electric, in the EV space, nobody is going to be able to outdo Tesla. They've got it locked up for the next 5 years, I believe. After 5 years, I don't know. Now, China's a different story. They've got tons and tons of EV companies, so that's different. But get a strong, whatever stocks you're in, make sure they have strong fundamentals. Don't just go by what your friends say. Oh, so-and-so, 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 this stock is good. And then you jump in and grab the stock, and then it tanks. I don't believe we're headed. I don't believe we're in a bull market yet. I know a lot of people out there, investors and YouTubers, and are saying, we're heading up. We're at the bottom. I'm not so sure about that. I'm still not sure that we're at the bottom, and I'm having a problem believing that we're about to enter into a bull market with everything that's going on. I do want to pay attention to the earnings report this week. I believe Foot Locker, which has a great dividend. I believe they were 4% yield dividend. So even if you like, and you guys, a dividend, a company will give a dividend from their profits. That's outside of the ascension. If the stock goes up or down, they're given a dividend. That's a check every quarter. That's 4 times a year, every 3 months. Foot Locker is a good place for a dividend, and their fundamentals are pretty solid right now. So I'm watching to see what they do. The price is a little high for me right now, so if it does go down, I want to jump in and grab some of that stock. Another stock is Nike. Nike's having they're going to be doing their earnings. I think their earnings this week, and then I believe it's KB Housing. I really want to see what's going on with KB, and pretty much their backlog. How many homes do they have out there that they're building, or have they paused building? I want to know what they're doing. So I'm very interested in the housing market. So anytime one of the housing companies come up, and they do their earnings, I really want to try to peep in on that. For those that don't know how to look at earnings, how to get to the earnings, all you have to do is, if there's a company, well, Twitter has, if you have Twitter, there's a space on Twitter. It's called Earnings Whisper. If you go there, it actually will tell you what companies are reporting their earnings for that week or that month, or when the earnings are coming. It's all dedicated to earnings. So you can use that as a guide to say you're interested in a company, or you want to find out what companies are doing their earnings. You can go to Twitter and go to Earnings Whisper. Now, for those that want to find out about and be involved in the earnings call or the earnings transcript, all you need to do, you can Google your company and say investor relations for that particular company. Say Microsoft investor relations, and it'll bring up their website, or you can go directly to their website and it'll pull up, and you can click on investor relations and go in, and then it'll usually will tell you if there's going to be an earnings call, when it's going to be, what quarter, and all of that. What quarter they're going to be reporting, and all of that. Okay. So we've already did the fourth quarter of 2022. We've done the first quarter. The next is the second quarter. Some will do an advanced guidance of their second quarters and third quarters, but check out your earnings. Check out the earnings to find out how these companies are doing. We need to find out if we're going to be heading towards a recession. Now, like I've said, I believe we were in a recession last year and through the beginning of this year. Most experts out there are kicking it down the can that we're going to reach a deeper recession later this year. Now, I will say this about a recession, and that is employment. Employment is still low, and that's what I'm really looking for. On the third quarter, and towards the end of the third quarter of this year, I've said there's a possibility that employment will be at 4 to 5%, 4.5 to 5%. We're near 4% now, and companies are doing massive layoffs. But really, what affects that number is hospitality, and like even some of the gig jobs and all of that. When a lot of those positions start getting phased out and laid off, or different companies start saying, we don't need as many Uber drivers. We don't need as many Lyft drivers. Or if they say we're going to put a cap. So I'm looking at that, keeping my eye on that to follow recession, because our economy right now, it's not horrible, but inflation is up. Inflation, and I don't know why people keep thinking inflation is going to go down. I keep hearing that. Kathy Woods, I keep hearing that. Even Meet Kevin, and I'm like, gang, all you got to do is ask your neighbor. Ask your neighbor. Inflation is still up. It's still up. I went to the store today, and I literally bought, I'm not lying, I bought One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I bought 7 items. 7. 2 was bread. What else? 2 was bread. I bought some chicken, rotisserie, some salad, um, a couple of drinks, and some dessert for a party, cupcakes. $65. I kid you not. I was shocked. I didn't even look at the receipt. I just grabbed it and just walked out the store. Then I was in the car putting stuff in the car, and then I looked at the receipt. I said 60. You would have thought I bought all these groceries. It literally was about 6 or 7 items. Now, granted, the cupcakes were like $20. I'm talking about in a little container, 12 cupcakes. I bought 2 of them, and they were like $13 from a market. So that was almost 30. I'm just saying, inflation is here, you guys, and it's not really going anywhere soon. So be wise. Make the make the right decisions, okay? Make the right decisions. Be smart. Am I telling you to get all your money out of the banks and small banks? No, I'm not telling you to do that. But I am saying be wise. Take some out and get some cash and keep it. Get some gold. Get some silver. Diversify. Make sure your money, most of your money, if you're going to have money in a bank, in a top tier bank. Not a credit union. Not a Silvergate. Not a Signature Bank. Okay? Now there's some, I'm with Southland. They have been great. I'm with Southland, a really reputable and very good credit union. But the problem is there's no transparency, and I don't think there's enough regulators to get around to all these banks. So there's no regulation. But here, keep this in mind too. I didn't say this in my last video. Ooh, I want to make sure I say this. Because of the FDIC, your money is insured up to $250K. So keep that in mind. But if you got millions, then we don't want you want to put your money. If you got $1 million or two and up, you definitely don't want to just have all your money in just one basket. Okay? And if you can transfer your 401k to a Roth where you can have access to it. 401k, a lot of times, people are in a situation where they're in the company and the company won't let them. Companies are saying, no, you can't have any of your money, not even a hardship loan. To me, that's scary. Because I think I'm not going to call it crash. There's some people have been calling a stock market crash by the summer, 20 to 30%. Now I'm hedging and I'm leveraging, so I'm definitely going to have some short. I'm ready if it does happen. I'm still going to go long on some things, but I'm going to have some protection. So that's what most people would do with the stock market. If you're going to go long with some of your stocks, make sure you have something that you're leveraging it with, meaning you're shorting, or if if it's derivatives, you want to have some puts that are going the opposite direction. That way, if the market does go that way. So I'm probably going to, and I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm probably going to short the S&P 500 and the Dow. I don't know about the NASDAQ. And usually, if there's a crash, all 3 of them are affected. And also the Russell 2000, the small caps. I'm gonna have leverage. I'm gonna have a hedge. In case the market does go down, hey, you can make money on the way down. All right, so be encouraged, so you guys. I pray that God will bless you, and that the remainder of the 2023 year will be awesome for you. And also, my believing friends, my Christian friends, sow seeds, not just in your church. Of course, your tithes and your offering, but give to people around you. If there's a need, somebody in your church that has a need, Give to them. Bless people on their birthdays. Throw a little extra money, even if it's just 50, 60 bucks, $100. Bless people. Don't just, you know what I'm saying? I really believe, my wife and I, the Lord has really been, I have so many testimonies. And we're still right now, things are tight. We're standing and believing God, but we see God's faithfulness. But one of the reasons is that we try to give as well as to our church, but we also give to people. We're giving to people in our church. We give to people outside our church. We give it to our neighbors. We're giving to our people at schools. We give to my son's school, their parents. I mean, we're giving everywhere we can. The more seeds you plant in the ground, the bigger your harvest. All right? So God bless you and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.